do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
the man, yes sir, that killed the bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for our legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. I'm still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dallas rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody grinding together.
But it's the mercy that we apply to them is written for us so much in lieu of us providing that same care or consideration for our own. It's written way too much. It's their fantasy. They love it. But yeah. So with that said, we here. We got the finale. It's evil, and evil is good. So NERDSoul, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all them places. Hit that thumbs up. We glad you're here. We're glad to see your beautiful sunshiny faces. It's finale time. That's right. And we ain't by ourselves. Right over here, we got the cinematic sorcerer, y'all. Solar Gray. What's up? Well, this show surprised me because I thought we were getting 13 episodes this season. Of course, we only got 10, so I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna get 3 more of these, but no, we only got 10 this season. But we do have another season on the way, sometime probably next year or something. So, hey, we'll get some more. Yeah. It's probably shaping up, to be the final season. But I'll throw it to you. I'm interested to see why you're so angry. Why you're mad? Why are you perturbed with this shit? Yo. Here's what's messed up is they finally do everything we've been asking them to do in the finale. Well, not all the things, because we still saw a neighbor that was like, hey, this stuff is going on. And Ben is just like, it's like, yeah, blood in the toilet, Ben, eyeball, Ben, Kristen, like nothing. You already know she's predisposed to weird stuff because she's experiencing it. So just go in and tell her. Just go in and say it. And y'all are there. She hired y'all to come do the demon stuff. So you can tell her. It's not like this is some random person off the street who's like, oh, they might think I'm weird. No, they're already saying, yeah. Yeah. Finally. Yeah. Lisa and I were watching it, and Lady Lisa said he gave her a word. Now, depending on what she do with that word, but he gave her a word. Now, here's the thing. Man. Also, Miss, I'm a promised God. Now you want to blame God for the divorce, right? But then you don't want to give him credit for bringing your husband back. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. Now, at the same time, you can't say I prayed and he didn't give this, but I prayed and he did give this. You can't have it both ways, as well as seeing all the things you've seen throughout this show. So you can't have it both ways. Mm. No, I mean, this is what this show is about. We can definitely talk about religion and belief, and I mean, that's what this show is about. Yeah, I feel you. Yeah. Well, also because it's in line with this prosperity preaching. Because I grew up in the church. Some of y'all might be new to the show because maybe you just like evil and you're like, oh snap, someone's covering evil. That's great. So I grew up in the church. I'm a PK. I grew up in the church. So I'm a PK, grew up in the church. I'm a believer. I'm a Baptist Christian. I'm a believer. But I'm also someone who is fully aware of the ineptitude of, at least, I'm gonna talk about us, at least the black church. I ain't got nothing to do with no one else. I don't go there. I ain't there. I'm talking about the ineptitude of our institutions that were great strongholds of power and in many cases respite for us in former times has now become a show. But that's a whole week-long symposium. I've lived it, trust me. So that's a whole other thing. But in this, we see people that do great things, things great happen to them, but God can doesn't mean God will. You gotta, God is not a magical genie for it. And also sometimes, hold up, what? Nah, someone said you're muted, but you're not muted. Yeah, I don't see you being muted. You should be fine. I don't know why.
Hold up.
Are you muted?
Oh,
No,
there we go. Hang on. No,
put a
wait.
thumbs
Hold
up
up.
if you can hear him. You should be able to hear him. I'm sorry if y'all couldn't hear him before. Apologies. Apologies if you couldn't hear him before. But okay. So they say they can hear you now. So maybe that was on my side. Apologies, guys. So, but
I don't know. We getting into some deep stuff that might be the demon of the algorithm.
The demon of the algorithm trying to stop us. So On the podcast side, I'll just cut that stuff off so you guys won't hear it. Hopefully, we'll see whatever. But
Yeah.
Demon of the Algorithm was trying to get us, but we here now. But a lot of times, God can say yes, He can say no, He can say wait.
In fact,
a lot of times,
is what the universe says the most. You know, we get this idea of like, yeah, can I have it like Tuesday? And it's like the powers that be are like, I'm busy Tuesday. You know, just like growing up, it's like, mom, Voltron. Can I have the Voltron toy? We'll see.
We'll see. Or,
you know,
since,
Christmas
of course,
later.
until you get to the end of that specific journey, you don't realize, oh, I wasn't ready then. I had to do this and I had to do that. And this person had to be open for this and that. And then, so it wasn't ready. I had to wait. So there's that. Also, remember,
or sometimes
faith plus
ain't
works
ready.
Means you got to work.
Yeah.
So guys like, okay, I'm gonna do my part, but you gotta do your part.
But you gotta buy a ticket. You gotta at least buy a ticket.
Yeah,
I will help you win the lottery, but you gotta buy that ticket.
So it's
like the winning lotto numbers ain't coming up on a breeze in front of you when you're on your lunch break. All right.
Mm-hmm. So it's very cool to see them go through this, especially with Kristen, because Kristen is, oh, please bring my husband back. I swear to you, God, I promise, blah, blah, blah. And here's the thing, the second your daughters go to church, and the second they're like, you know what, I'm interested to know more, now all of a sudden you saying no.
Mm-hmm.
What it should be is, I'm going to allow my daughters to have their own relationship with you. But you want to control them because of the relationship you've had or haven't had.
Yeah.
Because just because the prayer that you prayed was not answered in the way that you like it, does not mean that your relationship with God had to stop. But that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother episode.
That's a whole nother episode.
Matter of fact, that's an episode that we need an organist over here. Yeah. Like I'll take care of the bass, but yeah, we need an organist out there. So, you know, and an old woman in the back going, yeah. Well,
so that statement from David was real. That thing was right on point,
bro.
And I said,
as soon as he realized it was her, he was like, oh, I got this crate of knowledge that I just got to drop on you right now. Here, there you go. Boom. Again, never mind, God. I found one that I'm like, oh, well, I'm stolen. Thank you. Mm-hmm. I'm stealing that. But can we talk about the MVP of this episode?
Well, I want to talk about the best team.
About the plot.
I want to talk about the best team of detectives this side of the Mississippi. I want to give it up. I want to give it up.
Talking about the MVP. Yeah.
I want to give it up to the girls of the house.
Bruh.
Yo.
All right. Look, so real talk.
The smartest people on the show that don't have all the information.
So real talk.
They even got all the information. But they still the smartest on the show.
When you reached out to me this morning and you were like, we good for noon? I'm like, yeah, we good. I literally was watching the show when you reached out. And that scene where it was like, oh, no, wait a minute. Hang on. Yeah, we got this. All right, go. And the Mission Impossible music was going and the Ocean's 11 bass line from that Elvis tune was going. And it was like, hey, are you out there? Are you there? Hey, what's going on, Nerd Light? And that was the thing. I love that this show right here really accentuates that generation gap. Because it's like, I'm gonna mess with these kids using all the tricks I know. And it's like, yeah, but you don't know all the tricks they know. You going into their world.
And the level of teamwork.
Bro.
That scene also shows something that I noticed is Cheryl's hold on them is not the same. They completely ignored her. They did not respond to her at all. And remember earlier where she was like, oh, you know, they'll still have me talking. I think she was talking to Kristen like, oh, they'll still have me. I'll still be here. They let her know implicitly, We love you, grandma, but guess what? This is our dad. This our dad. You know what I'm saying? And
come on, kids, I'm making pizza. Yeah. That's nice. Hang on. And I'm like, hey, they're growing up. Those girls are growing
this
up.
our daddy. And in that, also, I think another thing that hit Kristen in that moment of like, hey, I talked to Sister Andrea. I think I want to learn about being a nun or whatever. The reason I think she hopped up so mad is not only the thing about religion and religious and how her prayer wasn't answered the way she wanted it. Also, she know who the leader of that crew is. She know. She's like, well, if she's going to be interested, then by extension, these girls may also be interested. And I don't want them to be interested. But here's the thing. Why not? Or is she saying, hey, Mom, I'm thinking about starting the drug empire. Now, and Sister Andrea has been nothing but straight up with you ever since. David has been nothing but straight up with you ever since. If there's anywhere where you think that these people might, these girls might be well looked after, or looked after or cared for, or at least even regarded, it would be here. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
See that, and that is the American straw man. Have you seen the God's Not Dead movies?
No, I haven't seen those. No.
They're fun.
He said they're fun.
See, for those of you younger viewers out there that don't know what a straw man is, it's essentially an intentional misunderstanding of the subject that the person can win the argument about. Okay. And the persecuted Christian, like this is fucking Rome, straw man against atheists and agnostics. It's like, no, I'm an atheist. I don't believe. Oh, why do you hate God? Didn't say I hate. Like I said I don't believe. I don't believe that God is up there. So how can I hate something that ain't there? Yeah. And that's been. So Kristen is the agnostic straw man, where it was like, God didn't give me something, so I said I don't believe in you, and I'm mad. Oh, hang on. You know, and that is the only place the writing. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm just saying I've seen it so much that it's not me. It's not written for me. You see what I mean? Yeah. And so that's the whole thing. She's like, well, I'm mad at God and I don't want to lose my kids to God, because if my kids believe in God, then they're gonna keep bothering me and keep bugging me, and then I'm gonna have to face something from my past that I've been trying to avoid. And no, you can't be a nun. Although, again,
she's like, you can do anything. You can have tattoos, but no religion or something like that.
No, I gotta disagree with you on that. She was prepared for the kids coming to her saying, I want to get a tattoo. I want to get a nose ring. She's like, why couldn't you come to me like that?
Well, whatever she said, basically what she was saying is, that would be better than hearing about this. Like she had a visceral reaction to that. Bro. Of course, I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the actual, stenographer note.
No, And honestly, I literally just watched it like 15 minutes ago. But so it's fresh in my mind. And I'm like sitting up going, yep, there she is. There's the crazy woman. All right, cool. Mm-hmm. And I thought about you in this episode, because what was it? It was, she had said, oh, yeah, have y'all been making terrible noises and stuff through the walls to scare the neighbors? Why would we do that? Because I'm a bad mother? Okay, yeah, Mike's gonna love that.
And I love the youngest one. The young one's like, she was like, it even asked me to go downstairs and grab a glass, but I didn't do it. Why? Because I'm good. Like, I love how played it was. Real quick, shout out to Vera Morris, and I think I'm doing your name right. But anyway, shouts out to V Morris. Got you. She should have just heard her out. She's 14. She will want to be all kinds of things. She should let her explore it and come to her own conclusions. What's worse, being a nun or following her grandma's footsteps?
Okay, now, like, real talk.
Like, she might get into it at 14 and decide that that's her path. Maybe not. But
she might get into it and go like, that was nice, but nah.
Yeah,
Now
because
I'm gonna go for
she needs
science
to have
now.
her
Call up
own.
Ben. You know?
She needs to have her own relationship with God. You need to follow what you said. You said you promised to take these girls to mass. See, what you thought was, I'm gonna take them to mass and they're not gonna listen to anything, they're not gonna pay attention. But as kids do sometimes, they go somewhere and maybe something that they thought they wouldn't like, they're like, hey, this is
Okay.
this kind of interesting. And maybe they're slightly interested. Now, they might
I'm a,
not stick with it, who
no.
knows? But you gotta
See,
let them have their own relationship.
I'm gonna hit you with something, and I hope Lady Lisa's listening on this one. All right, this is where I get my wizard's turtleneck going, because
Oh boy.
wizards don't get
But no,
collar.
she's not listening, but we could
All right. The whole thing that comes down with those type of prayers, all those people that say, God, if you do this, then I will do this, and all that stuff, they expect the answer to be no. Okay, she didn't expect for her husband to come home, and she didn't expect to have to pay up. That's the thing, because true believers, I'm talking people on Sister Andrea's level, people on David's level, they don't supplicate, they appreciate. They go and they say, please God, help me, or thank you for taking this burden away from me in the way that I know you will. They don't go, if you do this, then I'll do this. You see what I mean? So Kristen ain't going, if you do this, I'll take the girls to mass every Sunday. I'll quit drinking canned margaritas and do stuff out of the real bottle. And I'll clean up the house 3 times a week. And I'm like, you ain't 12. Just ask. Just ask and accept the answer that you get. But true believers know that the answer is, most of the time, even more often than wait. Actually, no, this is part of wait, is eventually, And Christian was like, no, I want him home now. I want to know that he's alive. I want to know this. I want to know this. Give me reasons not to have faith, and then I will give you stuff. It's like that opening scene in The Godfather where he's like, what did I do to make you treat me so disrespectfully? If you never invite me over for a cup of coffee, and I'm the godfather to your kid. And if you'd done that, if we had cultivated this friendship, those men that did that to your daughter would be in pain this very day. Oh yeah, thank you.
Real
Vera.
Quick, shouts out to V. Yo, V, yo. B said that black lady was like, don't touch my walls. And like, honestly, look, don't touch my walls. Like, I'm just saying, like, you know whose house you in. There's certain people's houses you can't touch their wall. And one thing is, look, don't touch her walls. I'm just letting you know.
Okay.
Don't touch, because she went to touch you like,
Yeah, this show has some of my favorite black moments in TV. Because Kristen walks in to the apartment with the same floor plan, and she's like, man, this place is nice. And she's like, we got the same floor plan. Like, wait, your house don't look like this? You mean you gotta clean your house up? And then she goes to touch the wall, and that was a, girl, you lost your damn mind moment. Like, it literally was, look at me. I'm upper middle class black woman. I have made it. I have gone through the struggles, and don't think I won't be putting Vaseline on my. I will mess you up. You get away from that wall, girl. Okay, yeah. So, oh no, I don't have a daughter, and it's like, oh wait, you have kids too. Like, I don't know what your kids be doing, but my sons know.
My sons,
you don't be touching my walls.
Well, also, and this is not, I'm not here to start no gender wars. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't want to hear it. I'm gonna say it, I'm gonna pick it up, and I'm gonna put it down. There's also a man in the house. And them boys know. Hey, your mama tell you to clean up, then your mama told you to clean up. And that's it. And that's it.
I'm getting flashbacks to Chris Rock. It's like, no, your mama said clean up, you better clean up and thank your mama. Clean up the house and thank your mom. All right.
He's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to hear it no more. Did she say clean up? Then get in there and clean up.
Uh-huh.
So but now daddy's home, which is another thing. I knew when he okay, first thing, shouts out to like the acting on Leland's side. Because when they got found out, Leland couldn't do nothing but laugh. He was just like, kids, man, kids. Like
What's the matter
we're
with
a
kids
whole
these
demonic
days?
operation in kids. Kids, they like.
And you know
they
what?
got us.
That is indicative of a well-written villain. Okay. Because it literally was like, oh no, you got to stop what you're doing. They pinged you, and she saw the notification on the computer. And all right,
He's like, wow, wow.
he just had that moment of like,
okay.
I guess I should have erased that program. Oh well, you know what? That was on me. Anyway, I'm already 3 steps ahead. I got my thing going.
Yeah, but when he came home, and I'm pretty sure this is going to drop because, he comes home and we could tell something's wrong. Even Kristen could tell something's wrong. But when he saw that drawing on the door, I was like,
and fell down.
I was like, here's the thing, demon or no, the memory is tricky. It's tricky. See, and it's going to come back in bits and pieces. I'm pretty sure.
I'm glad you brought that up because I was like, we haven't seen much of Leland's coworker. I wonder if he's a shapeshifter. I wonder if this is like, they killed Pops and they sent him back. And I was like, ooh, shapeshifting magic. Let's see if that's going to be the thing. And then when he showed his hand, or when Cheryl showed her hand, being like, thank you so much for holding down the fort, Cheryl. I've missed you so much. I'm just so glad to have you back. And even Kirsten was like, oh no, something going on. Something going on. Those two hate each other.
Nice to each other?
Yeah.
This is weird.
And major shout outs to the writing and direction on this episode, because even like, I love the fact that we are so frustrated with the Kirsten character because the writers are doing it correctly. They're giving her little tiny bits of growth at a time. And I'm sitting up going, you know what? This is good, because she's like, here's a piece of it. No, I'm gonna deny that piece. Here's a piece of it. I'm gonna deny that piece. Here's a piece of it. I'm gonna deny that piece and talk to my friend who always tells me what I want to hear. Oh, no. God reveals himself all the time. And eventually, you're gonna have to accept that. And then the whole Easter egg hunt, and yeah, that's what I'm calling that plot line, leading her to the office building where all of those pieces were revealed. And I've been waiting for that, because the infuriating thing for me in this episode, in this show, is how nobody suspects Cheryl of anything. It's she is a good spy.
That's why she wasn't there when Sister Andrea was there, because okay, shouts out to Sister Andrea and to Grace.
MVP. But of course,
we know why they can't be in the show, because if they're in the show, this show is not 4 seasons or 5 seasons. It's 2 seasons. It's maybe 1. This is like, you can't have Jordan and Pippen right beside each other. And also now with Monsignor gone, it seems like we have a with Father Ignatius? Yeah. Ignatius. He looks like a much more proactive, father. Like he took the thing. He was like, demonic infestation, get on it. Like he didn't like mince words. He doesn't seem like he seems like he's going to be very proactive.
Well, he is proactive because he's grieving, and there's a very gay subplot under that, and I like it a lot. And it's like, Sean Wallace is an interesting actor in the sense of, I love seeing him on screen. However, in my head, every part that he's played most of the time, from The Princess Bride to Deep Space Nine to everything else that I've seen him in, I always replace him in my head with Gilbert Gottfried because it would be more funny.
Wow.
But
no, no, man, don't do him like that.
one, Gilbert Gottfried is a comedic genius, and second,
I mean, yes, but
just think about it. Replace him in Princess Bride with Gilbert Gottfried in the same role, and it's a bit funnier. Replace him in DS9 as the Grand Nagus and put in Gilbert Gottfried. Same thing. Yeah. Here.
But Gilbert has one of my favorite moments in Beverly Hills Cop 2.
You mean when they you got something in this hand?
Yeah. Is there? You got the tickets in this hand. Is there something that could be in this hand that would make you say, "Oh, this is interesting. I don't even know what's over here anymore." I don't, like
exactly.
I love that scene. I'll never forget because it makes you wonder. Like, I wonder if that could work because I'm not technically bribing you. I'm just saying, is there anything in this room that could be in this
that's
hand that
more interesting to you than what you're talking about right now? Is there some way I can provide a change of subject? Just something that we can really focus on.
Axel Foley's like, you mean like if I had like $200 in this hand?
Well, I was thinking something more like a 50, maybe not a picture of Benjamin Franklin, but or maybe 5 pictures of Andrew Jackson.
I think 2 Benjamins would be great right now. Just real crisp. But
Sean Wallace in this one is really showing his acting chops as a dramatic actor, because it's like, man, my old friend is dead, just dead.
The one that we were sort of alluding to being in love with is now dead. And not dead like, like, hey, he was old, he passed away. He was violently
murdered. Was murdered.
Yeah.
And so he made it very clear. I cried all night last night. I'm gonna cry all night tonight. And today we're gonna get to work.
Yeah.
And if there is you don't get more man with a transfusion of testosterone. That's what men of that generation do. It's like, I ain't gonna feel right now. I'm gonna work, and I'm gonna work.
Now,
but do you want to talk about your feelings? No, I'm gonna work. But then later on,
I'm gonna cry
when he
about
sees
it.
him, when he saw him on the stairs, I'm like, that's compartmentalization. God, I love these writers.
Yeah. Now with Grace didn't know who Leland was, but now, of course, this is me being in, real world, but I assume there's at least like a security camera outside the church, right? There's got to be, like, because people like might deface the church or spray paint on this.
Not that
camera
church.
somewhere, right?
No, not that church. I mean, real talk. This is a Catholic church in New York. That means one of like 100,000. Okay, there are churches, there are Catholic churches everywhere in New York and in Boston. Yeah. Okay, so it's like, this is just a church, and everything with grace,
just like your basic camera, not like full, CIA. No, just like the basic camera at the front door and at the back door,
Yeah, no, I mean, again, this is the church. I mean, technically, Catholic churches in that area practically never close because of sanctuary and stuff like that. So there's always somebody there. There's always somebody up, and it's like, well, if somebody's going to vandalize the church, that's when you go out and preach at them,
True.
And neighborhood understandings of the churches are as untouchable as the paramedics, because chances are, if you in that neighborhood, you are Catholic and you went to that school. So those preachers and those nuns, they already know you.
They know you, they know your mom, they know your uncle, all that stuff. So, it's just like, nobody recognizes it. It's just like, but of course, I know we need it for the show. I know we need it. I know. But now it was weird to not see any like police presence or nothing. It's like, there was a murder.
Oh no! No. They made that clear when he was like, "No, we got to do this." It's like, whoa. Grace's presence here is not documented, and we keeping this under INS. Like the Vatican had that on lock. And
but I mean, still just the police, because there's a dead guy, and he was, unless they're not playing it off like he was murdered. Maybe they're just like, hey,
I will
he
repeat myself.
had a heart attack in his sleep.
The Vatican had that on lock.
The Vatican, CIA, LeConte and all them came through.
Because remember, they didn't have cameras, but they had guards. they had armed guards. And Leland was like, well, no, guess I got to kill some people.
So Grace did give him the encouragement, though. Grace, before she left, she said, she looked at him, she was like, don't give up. You know what I'm saying? Because David is the most pastor, not pastor. But he would be out there. He ain't never got the collar on. He just living it up.
That's the thing.
I'm the approachable
pastor.
No.
He's more of a pastor than a priest. But he got them priest qualifications. He's like that one coach you had. That one coach that grew up in your neighborhood. He knew how to talk to you. And he's like, look, I went to college. I got my degree. I became a teacher. But if you're going to throw down, we can meet up at 7:00. You know.
Oh, man. Lady Lisa said, Kristen's hands down gets worst mama in life award. Yo, she's not a good mama, man. She is a horrible mom.
I can't agree with Lady Lisa entirely because Cheryl is still on the show.
Oh, snap. Cheryl, I guess Cheryl takes the cake. Once she dies,
Christian has yet to make a deal with devils. Okay. Like to make a willful deal with devils.
I bequeath to you, worst mama.
Yeah. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's still getting the gift bag. She's getting the smoker trophy. But yeah, Cheryl's out there. So
yeah, when that moment when they revealed that she had, her and Leland took Andy, I was like, bruh, no way. I was like, you done crossed the line. But,
I was like, I was literally sitting going, finally, this is how I know that next season is the last season, because there's nothing else to hide. Everything has been revealed to the main characters. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm with this.
Even with Sister Andrea coming through the house. And I
MVP.
Love how, yes,
MVP.
And notice how Kristen was like, do you want me? She was like, no.
And Andrea's like, yeah, no, I'm going over here. Okay. And you're not going to stop me because okay, one, Sister Andrea and the Holy Shovel of Antioch are now my favorite.
That shovel. Yo, she blessed
magical artifacts in this show. Forget the crosses, forget the censers, forget the rosary. All right. The Holy Shovel of Antioch, I am all down with.
That scene is so dope because Lynn. It's Lynn, right?
Yeah.
Lynn is not tripping at all. She's not tripping. She's just like, hey, she's whooping the out of our floor.
Hold on.
But I ain't bugging.
You're the oldest, right?
Yeah.
You had younger siblings to take care of. So if there was somebody in the house just hitting the floor with a thing, would you really have been shocked? I mean, she is the oldest of 4, and she's taking care of 3 loud, boisterous, and hyper-intelligent children. So an old lady swinging a shovel, that ain't nothing but a thing. It's like, just answer my question. You can hit whatever you want with the shovel. Just tell me what it's like to be a nun. Shovel. Okay, I guess that's what it's like to be a nun.
And there's so many demons in that house that they had demons that could take bricks, because the first demon was taking a nap. So there's so many demons in there. And I gotta say, Sister Andrea won't even trip it. She was just like, okay, let me get this shovel real quick. She was like,
boom. Bam. And then the little demon larva. And I gotta say,
all over the place.
I get real
and the whole time
happy.
Lynn is just chilling. She's like, open that door slowly, please. She was like, no problem.
I get real happy when I see George on screen. I really do. And I'm like, wow, they having a whole convention in the new room. That's kind of cool. And all
of the demons that we've seen are all in the new edition. And Lady Lisa told me, she was like, I don't think that new edition is ever going to get made. And now we're like, I don't think it was ever meant to be made. I don't think that edition is going to get made.
No, actually, that new edition is looking to be the place of confrontation. That plays because they had the whole dark nativity scene
Yep. With
going. And
essentially Kristen's baby. I'm pretty sure that's the stand-in for Kristen's baby.
no,
Because
that was yeah. That's what they expect to do with the new baby because that was the baby that was given birth to on David's father's property. That little guy with yeah, that's David's little brother.
yeah. And
And
with
but yeah, so I was but yeah, seriously, one, I was like last week's episode. I'm like, there was no Sister Andrea in this one. And
nope.
then okay, I gotta say something about this episode that really warmed my heart.
Okay.
Really, seriously, warmed my heart. Except in one scene, but that was done for dramatic tension. You know what happened that really warmed my heart?
So
People learned to knock on David's door. I know it seems small,
they just bust in there.
but he's like in there, and it's like, yeah, here you go. What? It's a mosquito net. I don't have mosquitoes. Humor me. I'm like, you know what?
She named it. She was like, it's a mosquito. You need to put it
Yeah.
up. It's sucking all the joy out of your life. Put it up.
Yeah.
She was like, humor me.
And
then at the end, we see how it was sitting outside the bed and it just faded away because it couldn't get to him.
Couldn't get in. And yeah, I'm like sitting up and I'm like, okay. And then honestly, when that scene popped up and it's like, I'm Sister Andrea. David sent for me. I'm sorry I'm late. I'm like, did he actually send for her? Or is she just doing one of her things again? Either way, I'm happy. And, but they formed the new dream team, the new Jordan and Pippin, with Andrea and Lynn. Because because she's like, oh yeah, no, teach me a little more.
And then as smart as they all were, man, because Cheryl was trying her hardest to get their attention. They was like, we ain't trying to hit.
Look,
and they got their little plan
cream
together. They got their little plan together.
That's because these are adults trying to deal with children. It's like, come on, guys, I'm making pizza. You know what they could have said? Come on, guys, I'm upgrading the internet plan. You all get in your own phones and we gonna make TikTok videos. Let's go. And them kids would have been like, yeah, all right, cool. Yeah, we'll deal with this little thing later.
Yeah, we'll do that later. No problem. But so the only thing is at the end, she was like, all right, you exercised that house, right? Well, all they did is go to the other house. And
it's like,
y'all need to do that.
Yeah.
And it would have been funny if her last moment when she was walking off like, now, stupid, like now.
You know what? I think that was that look. I really think that was that look.
I don't mean exercise it next week. I mean now. I
think that was that look because it was like, you want to ride? Nah, I like the bus. And then she turns around and then just turns around and walks away like,
like, look, now, stupid. That's what I mean. Like, you need to call up the exorcism SWAT because y'all need to do it now. Like,
yeah, we ain't gonna have a little midget in here going, this house is clean. No, man, y'all infested.
I mean, that's what Sister Andrea basically did. She came out, she was like, well, I killed 4. There's about 6 more in there. Y'all need to do an exorcism.
I'm out.
Man, and she was
I gotta go make soup.
I love how the one in the living room was like, uh-oh, trying to like crawl away.
And she's like, oh, now where? And honestly, like, again, she was the standout character for me this time because when the kids got home, what was that? My children. Ladies don't act that way.
Yeah,
and they were like, was like, and I'm like, yeah, I got flashes to the Blues Brothers.
But I love how like Lynn, hey, look, Lynn could be the dope apprentice. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm seeing,
Because Lynn, she was not bugging. She was like, open that door real slow, real quick. She was like, all right. And then that one was trying hard to get away. It was like,
oh no, not her. Because see, that's the thing that's killing me is real talk, like seriously, real talk. All right. I want to see that council because the more Andrea works at stuff, The moment her name came up, her name and Grace's name, Leland, what's his name? Cheryl, they were like, oh, we forgot they had that big gun. All right, we got to do it. And poor Dr. Kurt, because it was like, no, I lost the words. Cut off all of Sister Andrea's hair. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Of course you couldn't. All right, well, I guess I'm going to have to do a little more. But everything they do, they are afraid to go near her. And I'm like, you excuse me. You know what that, like Sister Andrea is like the Martian Manhunter on the Justice League. You know?
She's so matter of fact with it. Like, do you see demons? Yeah. Are there ones in here? Mm-hmm.
Yep. On
right
him.
Right over there. Like, I mean, she's not hopping around trying to make, she's just straight up like, there's a demon right there. Like right
she is a postmenopausal demon hunter who's mad because they wouldn't give her the job because she was a woman. So at the end of the day, she was like, I ain't got time for all y'all nonsense and protocol and stuff like that. Well, I'm skirting around the thing trying to fire you. You can fire me if you want, but there's still demons in this room. What?
Yep. Firing me ain't gonna change anything. And I even said,
you trying to be nice and comfortable. I'm just telling the truth.
I remember watching that episode being like, honestly, if they fire her, it actually might be worse for the bad guys because Leland wants her fired, but actually she won't be tied to that church anymore. Then she can go wherever she wants, whenever she wants.
Firing her, it's not firing, it's unleashing.
Yeah, if you fire this woman, she can actually kind of go wherever she wants, influence whoever she wants, tell the truth to it. You actually might want her to stay there because at least she's still there during the day. She barely talks to David because David always running around trying to assess things. And then if he ain't trying to assess things, he's talking to fake Kristen, or demon Kristen. And
the truth is, I can see that scene in my head. Like, well, they finally excommunicated me. And it's like, but sister, what are you going to do? Oh, David.
And then you get the scene from every 90s action movie where she's like putting in guns and
it's like, I've needed them to do this for a long time. Well, why didn't you just quit? You do not quit on a commitment from God.
Yeah,
but if man fires you, it's a little gray. But again, that ends the show.
Yeah. Once again, that's why, like, when they got rid of Grace, it got and Sister Andrea walked off again. I was like, yeah, because if they're there every episode, they solve too many problems.
Yeah.
So then we have a mini series instead of a show. We have, oh man, remember that really good mini series called
a
Evil?
Mini series
about 20 episodes, and that was it.
Crap out of, by the way.
Yeah.
But a mini series yet still.
Man,
and people need jobs.
A road trip, a demon extinguishing road trip with Grace and Sister Andrea. I'm actually down with it.
And Lynn.
All right. And Lynn. Lynn is the young upstart.
Was what Supernatural was? Yeah, if that's what Supernatural was, I would have watched every episode.
Yo, I would not be mad at that. With Lynn as the young upstart, I'd be down with that.
Yeah.
Yo, because Lynn was
hit us up,
she
Paramount.
Wasn't bugging.
Yeah, hit us up.
It's Paramount, you know the deal. But Lynn wasn't tripping, and she was completely open to it. And I do like what even Sister Andrea did at that point. She was like, hey, I see you're interested, and I'm glad you're interested. I'm willing to teach all, but you need to speak to your mother about this first. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because Sister Andrea is still down, but she's like, look, I don't want to be trying to cross your mother. This is something that, your mother needs to know about.
That's experience. That's experience talking.
Yeah.
That is years in the field. But remember at the end of that scene, she was like, you should come talk to me more often. Because she's like, she might not see these demons, but she ain't spooked.
Yeah.
Cool.
She ain't spooked. Because I'm sure all of the girls together know something's wrong. That's the whole reason for that huddle and them going and listening on that call and pinging Leland. So they knew something was up.
Here's the thing.
Without the information, they're still the smartest on the show.
Well, see here.
They're the hive mind of the smartest people on the
Yeah.
show.
Well, look at all of their individual adventures. All right. You had Lynn with the list of 11 things.
Yeah.
You had Lexus. I think it was Lexus.
Yeah, Lexus with the tooth and the tail and RSM fertility.
Okay. And then you got one of the other L's that went to the voodoo lady about her friend's dad.
Yeah.
And then you got the youngest one who talked to the prophet and who's just a good kid. So I mean,
so yeah,
you got a dream team right there. They've all individually had their little things. And again, shout out to those writers, because they're really shown, like, you can look at those girls and see exactly what the adults should be doing. Because they're sharing information, they're brainstorming plans. And as soon as they got everything down, they practically don't even have to talk to each other anymore. Because the moment that they found out that Leland was a little weird and all that stuff, they started separating themselves from Cheryl.
Yeah.
And then when he went and found him online, they're like, I know this one. Hey,
like,
girls,
man, I know this is Leland.
All geek characters in this game. And they set up a virtual body wall between them. Like every time I try and talk to a woman at the club, you know, and all of her friends are like, where you going? And then after that, they got together and they're like, hey, everybody online, this guy's a pedophile. This is his real name. This is where he lives.
And like, this is his IP address. This is where he lives. This is where he works. Like, and then they got him again. Got Young
Justice going on in here. You know, I mean, they're seriously a Young Justice team. Yeah, and I'm going. Awesome. Yeah, so you know, I mean, seriously, they exactly, Lady Lisa. They doxed the demon worship.
Yeah, they did. They doxed the and they
and then and again, when Grace was like, he'll be home next Thursday. And it's like, oh my God, your father's dead. Nah, that's kind of fishy. Get online. Yeah. All right, no, we think it's Leland.
Not right. Like, they immediately went into a huddle and Cheryl so this episode shows the very particular moment between all the teams. One, Cheryl's hold on the girls is no more.
Nope.
Two, the girls are actually interested in the church and the supernatural as a whole, and they're not scared of it. They're open to it. So now they've leveled up. And Cheryl, pizza and ice cream don't work no more. Maybe she could have tried candy salad. I don't know. Then
this finale left.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, this finale left 2 loose ends. Just 2, which ain't bad for a season finale, but I'm a little mad about it. One, the loose end with Ben, because I think next season his sister is going to play a much larger role in his spinoff storyline. Okay. And second, the girls read Dr. Kurt's book.
Yeah, I forgot. They did read the book. They read the first however many chapters or whatever.
Yeah. And so now, and you write it, Kings. You can't, King family. All right. Don't think I didn't notice. They read the book. Like the little redheaded girl took the book, and then the youngest was like, oh no, you should totally make these changes. And then they get together and work as a team against the one demon type guy that they know, and they are unstoppable. I'm like, don't think I don't see that. Yeah. You know, and thank you for trusting your audience, by the way. So seriously, when it comes down to that, them girls, they're dangerous, and the show is going to come in. But again, with everybody's storylines, every team, as you were saying, when I saw that address, I'm like, 327th Avenue, huh? Hey, that's a big office building. I know where they took that egg. And I'm like, why didn't they take that there in the first place? And I'm like, oh yeah, sorry. Plans within plans that have plans. And sure enough, when Kristen walked in, it was like, what are you doing here? This is where I work. Yeah, come on in, come into my office and stay there. And I gotta say, that look on Leland's face That look on Leland's face where it's like, yeah, I got your egg, and it's
Yep.
my child now. And you know what?
We're
We're
gonna
gonna
be
be
parents.
parents. I'm like,
Like, so, but we finally got the main team actually speaking, even though it was like, well, why didn't you tell me you saw this in the toilet? I thought it would freak you out. We're in season 3. Of all the things, this
All
is
right.
where I sleep, man. You should have told me. But
All
then
right.
Kristen was like, I ain't say this. David was like, I ain't say this. And so at least now they're hopefully going to be talking now. Hopefully.
Yeah. And again, don't fall for that. You're better than that, Mike. Because I thought it would freak you out. No, that ain't why you didn't say nothing. You didn't say nothing because you were freaked out.
Yeah.
And you're just trying to save face. All right, Ben.
Yeah.
Quit your BSing. No.
Yo, Ben is
Yeah. Yeah, that is real talk. But yeah,
Oh, man.
and David is finally able to call on the visions because he was praying hard. I was sweating for him. He was sitting up because Michael Colter is a much better actor than people even know.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, it's time to call in your reinforcements. And the vision came up, and it was like 38 days until you got to go find another job because we wrapping up this show.
So we got our ticking time clock for season 4. Which is 38 days and something like Woe to Babylon. So
yeah,
we don't know what Babylon is. Is Babylon the world? Is Babylon just a city? Is Babylon some fertility? We don't know. Is Babylon the house that they're living in?
An interesting writing trope is when it comes to anything religious, most of the time when it's set in America, either America as a whole or New York is set as Babylon. And we're waiting for it to fall. You know, it was like that in The Devil's Advocate. It was a little bit like that in The Exorcist. So, you know, the whole thing is Babylon was the biggest disaster to a man-made civilization in the Old Testament. You know, not the walls of Jericho. And I say to a man civilization because the flood, that was a little different. But
the flood is kind of like just the world over.
Yeah, and Sodom and Gomorrah didn't really count as a major disaster in the Bible, but Babylon, the fall of Babylon, that was like the real big thing, you know?
Yeah.
So
because also at the time, you know, Babylon was like the place. It was like, you know, Babylon of the day, if you're, you know, to believe whether it really happened or if these are just stories, whatever, wherever you're at.
Historically speaking, Babylon was the
like
center of civilization.
Plus New York, plus like France, plus Vegas. Like it was the hottest place to be. Right?
Yeah.
It was
just like Rome, just like Rome after, just like Timbuktu after that, just like Spain. When the Muslims were there. And now just like New York. You know, and I say New York, I can't say America because let's face it, you got New York, you got LA, you got San Francisco, and then you got a whole lot of, I call it outback because that's what they call them in Australia, but we call them flyover states. But yeah, when you think of America, you think of these 3 places, you know?
Yeah. And if you're going to talk about like population and stuff like that, you could probably throw in like
Texas,
Chicago, Houston, Miami.
Yeah.
Probably throw those in.
And Dallas.
Dallas. So you could throw those in. Maybe DC, maybe squeak in.
Well, it's actually funny because geographically and historically speaking, America is pretty much the size of the ancient world. So we got our Babylon, we got our Canaan, we got our Cairo, or Cairo if you're in the South. We got our Athens, you know, because America is a huge landmass, especially compared to the Middle East. If you follow the Tigris, the Euphrates, and the Nile. So it's like, it's all about.
I'd say Seattle. I'd say probably you could probably slide Seattle in there.
Maybe
I know
recently.
I know it's on the lower side, but you could probably slide it in there.
But I would say New York, Chi-Town, LA. Those are the 3 major ones. So
Nisa's throwing in Atlanta. I guess you can probably throw Atlanta in there. So those.
I got to
So you're
get back
talking
into
about.
the Old Testament,
So you're talking about
12, 13 cities.
about 10 cities, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 12, 13 cities on this big landmass, which is kind of the equivalent
And
to
the rest is just open country.
yeah, and but that's very indicative to Carthage, Rome, um, Egypt, or more to the point, Cairo, um, Jordan, Nazareth, Babylon, Canaan. Yeah, you see what I mean? And the distance is pretty much about the same too. So, so you got like maybe 13 major cities in the ancient world if you count history and the Bible. And we got about that much in continental United
US,
States.
yeah.
So, yeah. So I mean, it's the connections are already there literarily. So when they say, woe is Babylon, they could be talking about New York, since New York is still the biggest thing that people think about when it comes to America globally. Like, don't get me wrong. We Black people, we think about Atlanta, we think about Chicago, we also think about Baltimore, but the
New
Statue
York
of
is still
Liberty
seen
ain't
as
in
sort of the
Chicago.
financial center of
Yeah.
America.
Well, not just that, it's still the gateway. It's still all the boats coming over from those European countries. They're not going down through the Gulf and landing in Dallas. They're going straight to Ellis Island, and though LA, Port of Long Beach, my playgrounds, and where I have my political meetings every Tuesday night, that's people.
That's for the other side.
Yeah, people don't really come in there. It's not known as a big immigration port. It's known for a port for things.
Yeah.
But things
More
don't
like products and
about
items and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. So, we don't they got the Statue of Liberty over there. We don't got the Statue of Shipping over here, unless you count the
shipping.
Yeah, you see what I mean? So, when it comes to woe is the fall of Babylon and all that stuff, they could be talking about the world as a whole. Leaning on the whole global community, and we're all connected, and and the Tower of Babel plus the internet. There are a lot of similarities there and a lot of writing room to play with. But really, most of the time, when it comes to supernatural stuff happening in media, when they say Babylon, they mean New York. They tend to specifically mean the stock exchange and the law exchange and stuff like that. But they show us that its scope bigger, although its scale is very small.
True.
So we'll see.
I will say I'm hyped. I think this season has been trying when you're looking at adults and you're like, even if you don't believe, just opening your mouth to someone that you work with every day would really help. But at the same time, this show has also given me someone I love to hate. So this show has done an awesome job throughout this season of giving me people to hate, people to love, moments to laugh at. At first, when this season first started, I was like, where are they going? Like, I thought we were going to go back to RSM. I thought we were, but you know what? Thank you. I'm not mad at this season. We had some fun. And man, those girls, look, y'all stick together and start your own detective firm. There ain't nothing y'all can't solve. It's like, look, as far as I'm concerned, they're the gold medalists of this show.
We've kind of already seen the setup. I'm thinking about being a nun. I want to be a doctor. I'm a good girl. I talked to this lady across town. So far we've seen a potential nun, a demon-like doctor, and a detective / sorcerer. So
because we need someone.
We need someone with that youngest kid, and we got ourselves a show.
Because Lexus was like, "Oh, I know this is Leland. I'm just trying to figure out what he wants." And I was just like, "Oh, girl." I was like, "See, baby girl, you here. Now, at the same time, you're dealing
Well,
with an adult, so it might be a little dangerous, but I like your mind. I like where you're
but
going. You know what I'm
it
saying? I like.
also lends to something we talked about last week, though.
Mhm.
Lexus, how many eyes did my boss have? 2, Grandma.
Two.
What's wrong with you? No, he had 5 eyes and horns, and we got work to do. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
serious. I'm seeing all these cut scenes with the girls.
Because we don't know what she went home and told her sisters, because they always talking. So
And
we don't know.
they very much set up that she's really good at concealment.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lexus is good with them mind games, partly because of the stuff that she's seen on the internet. And again, they solidified it with the blink game.
Yep. And
Because
yeah,
when
Nisa,
she
you're
blinked
right.
at
I think she
David,
saw it. I think she saw it.
yeah,
And I think she knew, let me be cool, because grandma being cool. But I think that was the very moment where she was like, grandma gotta go. I think
yeah.
that's why when they did that huddle, they was like, whatever, grandma, get out of here.
Yeah, yeah. Honestly, yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah,
And again,
definitely.
I think next season we're gonna get all the ducks in a row. Pretty sure Grace is gonna come back, and I think the big confrontation is gonna be David performing the exorcism that is needed. Um, and honestly, the way it's being set up is he's going to have to perform in earnest the exorcism that is needed on Kristen, either, yeah, on Kristen
Mm,
or on Ben, one of the two, because they've been dropping hints at that all season. When,
yeah.
you know, Kirsten's getting darker, Ben is going through more supernatural stuff and it's just writing it off to crazy people.
Especially since he went down in that basement. When he went down in that basement on the elevator game, he had
Yeah.
a true experience that
Yes.
he hasn't really relayed to his sister. Like, I mean, he did kind of talk to his sister, but he ain't
Yeah.
fully opened up. And
Exactly. And remember, when Dr. Kurt first saw George, my man George, you know, when he tried to talk to Andrea, she's like, what? Get baptized, join the church.
she was like, get
And
baptized, join the church, read this stuff, come back to me.
yeah. And the two main characters that haven't and won't do that are the ones that are open to being screwed with on the level that they're being screwed with. So I think and all this is building up to David actually being the one that does the exorcisms. Like we've been getting up to that.
Yeah, because usually he's kind of like on standby.
He's the assistant. You know, he's the father that we followed in The Exorcist 1974. And so like the completion of his story arc is he exorcises the demon and saves the world. The demon is probably going to take over Kristen because of her crazy, especially when it comes to all the stuff going on with her eggs and her being selfish.
Yeah.
And
Andy,
and
Andy's gonna
so
get that memory. I think at the very, of course, say next season is also 10 episodes. Andy's gonna have his revelation around episode 8, where
uh-huh.
he gonna have that flash, and he's not only gonna see the bottles, but he's gonna see Leland and Cheryl, and it's gonna be like, it is
In
because he
truth,
already saw the bottles, he already saw the wall,
now
and he kind of
honestly,
like doubled over to the floor a little bit.
I disagree with that. The pace that this show is going, the fact that it was revealed to Kirsten that Cheryl and Leland are working together and
Yeah,
they're the ones that stole that egg. Andy's going to come to that revelation by episode 2 because
yeah,
all the
because we're
cards are on
gonna.
the table. All the cards are on the table. So now all of
Yeah,
the
how do they
enemies
open
are
up the
known.
next season? Do they open
Huh?
up right where we left off, or do they do a
Yes.
time jump? Well, no, they're going to
Um,
open up right where we left off because we got the ticking time bomb of 38 days.
yeah.
So on day
Um,
39, something bad's going to happen.
yeah. So at day 1, that's when the team is going to get together and talk it out. Okay. And I
Yeah,
think around day 5 of 38 days, that's when they're bringing in everybody. They're
Yeah.
gathering up Father Ignatius. They're gathering up Sister Andrea.
Yeah, LeConte got to come through. Like, look, hey, it's a real
Yeah.
thing. We gotta put a bomb in the building. No,
Yeah.
I'm just
I think day 10, they're bringing in Grace. Day 15 is when Andy is gonna kill the hell out of Leland and Cheryl. Seriously, that's the whole thing. Actually, he's gonna get Cheryl. The girls are gonna get Leland, and then they're gonna be roped in around day 20. And I know I'm like plotting out the whole season.
I can
you gave us a
I can
clock.
see all this because now there's no, we're gonna be fast approaching the end in this. 38 days is not a long time.
No.
That's 2 paychecks, y'all. No, it's just over a month. It's not long.
No, wait, that's not just 2 paychecks. That's 2 spent paychecks.
To spend
Because you get a paycheck every 14 days.
Yeah, I
so that's that in between week while you're waiting for the next check.
I could see her probably setting off the alarm, being like, "Hey, look, immediate emergency meeting. David, Ben, look, the DF, DF, Leland, my mom, the egg, all of it, and
then Ben
the girls
going,
being
oh my
like,
God,
yeah,
DF is the one that's been doing this doom scrolling stuff. DF has been funding that influencer that we talked to. Like Ben is going to find out now that they have a name of the company. He's going to find out everything that they've been connected to. And then they're going to tie all that back to the sigils and all that stuff. Clever Little Vixen brings up a thing. If Kirsten doesn't know about her mom, which she does now, she'll probably try to save her.
Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. Don't save her.
And thinking about that comment and looking at your reaction to it, I gotta say I'm gonna have to bet money on that. Because
I mean, yeah, she will. But I'm assuming Kristen will be like, no, it's gotta be a coinky dink or something like that. It's gonna be like, and then I'm sure Sister Andrea gonna be like, it's not. All right. It's not a coincidence.
And honestly,
and David will be like,
Kirsten trying to save Cheryl would probably be the way that she gets possessed, because she's already been going darker. Like we said at the end of last week, hey, I got a stock tip for you. I'm like, she's going to that dark side.
Yeah, we didn't even see how old boy ended up, but I'm pretty sure he probably did.
So yeah, when it comes down to it, like the board is now set. All the players know each other except for one, and that's the other dude that has Leland's rank. The one he was dragging, the one that he was dragging Andy with. But everybody's known to everybody else.
He's just kind of being used, so he's not.
Oh no! He's the head of another demonic family.
Yeah, but he's not a huge part of this story, particularly.
Yes. So yeah, the board is set. Yeah, the board is set. It's ready for the enemies have been revealed. So if they're going to try and pull another 2 or 3 seasons out of this show, then it's going to be very much a Bond and Spectre type thing, which this show isn't really. That's not what this is built up for. So yeah, next season, now that the board is set and everybody is at it, like Indy has seen all the people. They've gone after the artifacts. The Ark of the Covenant is at the place. Now we know. Now we're about to have that confrontation to get the Holy Grail, all that stuff.
So with that said, we've been out. Look, we ain't gonna hold y'all all day, but crazy people outside my building, but y'all, we got something special. Well, Cinematic Sorcerer has something special to tell y'all about, because you guys could come and hang out with us soon. I'm gonna throw it over to him.
That's right. If y'all are in the Southern California area, I'm talking LA, Orange, Riverside, if you're willing to drive from San Diego, then more power to you. But we are having the first official Decker Day on August 27th in downtown Long Beach at Bono's Pizzeria. It's going to be a day of comics, games, demonstration. We got sorry. We got a terrain workshop for people that want to do tabletop miniatures games or model trains and stuff like that. You might not know you're into it until you see it going, you know what, that's dope. I want to learn how to do that. Boom. We got those. We got a paint and take because I'm working on swag bags right now. So people that are coming there, it's from noon to 8 p.m. at Bono's Pizza on Ocean Boulevard in downtown Long Beach. The location is gorgeous. And sorry to tell you guys, but yeah, the tickets are $50. But
But
at $50 in a major metropolitan area, it covers 2 hours free parking. You get a gift bag when you come in that has a couple of miniatures for the paint and take, which means you get the miniatures the moment you walk in. If you want to paint them and take them home, all you. If you just want to take them home and put them on your shelf, that's all you. They yours. The moment you grab that bag, they yours. Do with them what you want. Just don't leave them on the ground. And we got D&D workshops. We've got 8 to 10 tables of demonstrations for a plethora of different types of games and activities that you can take home with that you can take this knowledge and apply it to family stuff so that y'all can have those memories. Like, I remember when I used to make model trains with my dad. I remember when I used to like write stories with my mom. I remember when the family would go fishing. Man, I look back on that now and I hated it at the time, but I kind of wish for those days now, you know. And it also comes with an all-you-can-eat Italian buffet. And this whole day is $50 a ticket, or the family pack, 2 tickets for $40, but you can bring up to 3 children. And when I say children, 3 children under 17. All right, because I know some of I know my gamer people. They're like, oh yeah, we'll just buy the family pack. Not if you ain't bringing kids. So kids under 17 will get in free with the family pack ticket, and it's going to be a whole thing. And we're topping the day off. We're topping off the day with a panel, a show like this starring Mr. Michael Young. We also got Marquita Lastar, a great journalist and publisher, Jason Reeves, the head of 133 Art, Charles Mendoza from Guildhouse Games, and myself. So we gonna be there talking to people, playing games with people, talking about comics with people. It's not just gonna be a good time, but it's gonna be a good family-friendly time. So get that in right before your kids got to get sent back to school. Seriously, this is like an end of summer thing that I wanted to do, and we're putting this on. Like I said, August 27th, it's going to be a good day, a real good day.
Yeah, definitely. So, guys, Decker Day is going to be a lot of fun. Make sure to come through. But with that said, as well as Decker Day, where can they find you to see your streams, your videos?
God. Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/BID_P. So it's funny, the last couple of weeks, I've had a little bit of a problem transmitting because my good equipment has been hot to the touch because of this heat wave. Like, seriously, I went to grab my 4K camera and I'm like, that's why I'm having so many problems, which is good because that means I don't have to spend another $3,000 to fix all my equipment. But yeah, you can find me Monday through Friday at twitch.tv/BID_P, 3:00 p.m. for the Dark Side of the Room or Buster Recap, depending on what we're talking about. And you can also find me on the same channel. Yes, cosplay is welcome. At Decker Day, and at twitch.tv/BID_P. Where would you go and wear? Just make it, just remember they're gonna be kids around.
It's gonna be kids there, so
Yeah, so
maybe not what is it, Bayonetta? Maybe not.
Yeah. Well, Bayonetta can be okay, but definitely not Vampirella. Yeah, you see what I'm saying there? Like
definitely not Vampirella.
Try and keep your cosplay limited to like a midriff, because other people will have kids, and I don't want no static. So,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean that is the whole thing. And yeah, and I run role playing games on that channel every other Monday, every other Wednesday, and doing some more stuff on the docket. So yeah, Lady Lisa's like, kids gonna learn some new stuff that day, you know. But yeah, so honestly, and my channel is all about nerd culture and how nerd culture can help you learn, help you get through school, and really give you lifelong experience at skills that can help you start a career. And I am not joking. I'm not joking. We got
That's what's up.
we're gonna have 3 or 4 special effects guys coming through in Decker Day, checking out the displays, talking about the stuff that they're doing with their display, with their jobs, including quite possibly, I was working on this last night, a couple of the people on the special effects teams for Evil. So I'm working on that. I'm working on. They're not going to be on the panel. They're just going to be there, checking out the game, looking
I'll
at the
have
minis.
questions.
I'm sure you will. But yeah. So
I'll be like,
honestly,
so in the footage that you've already seen for season 4.
mm. But yeah, so like real talk, I'm really trying to get the dude that made the little baby creature, because he's the same one that did the nurses in the hospital episode, and and George and the girl demon that's following
The
Ben
hospital
around.
episode was real good too.
Hospital episode is the scariest thing I've seen in the past 4 years.
that was a good one.
That's season 1, episode 11. Yes, I've memorized it.
That was a
It
good one.
Terrifying. So yeah, looking to have some of those guys show up, and just good people who like comics and games and special effects. It's kind of an expo, kind of a party. We're ending out the day with a panel. It's going to be good food, and I checked out the location and seriously speaking, it's an outdoor event. All right. So you COVID people show up. You know, I want people to show their vaccination records. Sorry, you ain't stuck, you ain't getting in. And the flyer you can find on the link that that NERDSoul put up, and the UPC symbol is on the flyer. So you guys can pre-register. I think we only have 93 tickets left, you know, because I'm capping it out like 100 people for the day. That's it. That is all, because I'm real concerned about COVID and all this stuff. It's an outdoor venue, and from 3 o'clock on, the entire site is shaded. And I checked that. I checked when that blaring big orange ball in the sky goes away. So yeah, that's a whole thing, you know.
So
Because
show up at 3. No,
hey, if you want to show up at 3, that's cool. But yeah, so I'm just letting everybody know. And the venue validates your parking up to 2 hours. So if at an hour 45 you want to grab one of their validation tickets and then move your car, we ain't gonna say nothing. That's just that whole thing, you know. And when I say move your car, I mean go out the parking structure, go back in the parking
come
structure,
back in
for another 2 hours. You
We've
know
all
what?
done it.
That is how we roll. And I got permission from the venue for just that. They're like, people do that all the time. So again, it's a super friendly venue. The food is stellar. And when I say full Italian buffet, I'm talking pizza, pasta, Caesar salad, probably breadsticks. That all depends on if my boy hooks us up, and bottomless drinks all day. So that is what we got going. It's going to be a good event. Come on down to the channel, learn about some of this stuff Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. In fact, between now and Decker Day, most of my shows are me doing prep for Decker Day. So it's been me talking about games, painting miniatures, building terrain, and showing people how to make their own toys. I did a thing on magnets just Friday, you know, and where to get all this stuff and how to do it cheap. All right, how to do it cheap. You ain't got to take out a second mortgage on a house to have hobbies like this. Most of the stuff I do and teach on the channel, I teach with stuff you get from the Dollar Tree. You know, because, you know, when I was a kid, I made all my own toys, and my mom was like, thank you so much. I know you want Voltron, but you're happy with a ream of paper. I'm like, I know we broke. You know, you're raising 4 boys and I'm the 4th. So I know you ain't got no money. You know, so
Man, I
yeah,
know you ain't got no money. Let me see. NERDSoul Light. If he ready, see if he ready to close us out. Anyway, but with that said, NERD, SOUL, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those places, TikTok, podcast, all that jazz. Your boy is feeling better. All right. It's been 2 weeks of not feeling good, but he's feeling better. So things are gonna get there. They're gonna get there. Also, Decker Day should be fun. I'm also going to be a part of FS Con. That's in September, so I'll give y'all more news about that. And when it comes to building, hey, Lady Lisa, can you give me the gunpla right there in the container?
Oh,
The container right there. Mike, the gunpla. Yes.
nice.
Like, normally, I don't. Now, honestly, I'll be honest. I don't work on many miniatures, but you know when you're putting
Oh
together.
yeah. Okay, you're getting the Gundam started.
You know, we got going to show. We got a leg. We got 2 legs. You know what I'm saying?
And he did the shoulders.
The shoulders, yes. Got hands. Show him the gun. So,
oh yeah.
When we have time, we put together. Shouts out to Gunpla. The funny thing is, I love Gunpla and Gundams in general, but I've never watched a full Gundam series. But I love giant robots. So
start with the first one. Start. Yeah, I will give you a list because that's my day anime.
Definitely. Don't try to do it all at once. It's not good.
No. But yeah, so seriously, and that's what it's all about right there. You and your boys sitting up making stuff together, and that is exactly why I started.
Go get yours. Show him yours. So he has his own. We got him a much easier one to put together. But good, of course. Big shout out to Clever Little Vixen, Vera Morris, Nisa, Lady Lisa, anyone who is getting their lurk on. Shouts out to people on the replay. Feel free to throw in some comments. We will answer them and say hey, because this show, even though it's gone for now, still love it. It's an awesome show. I will be covering Motherland Fort Salem, just health stuff and busyness, but I will be covering Motherland Fort Salem because you know I love that show, and this is the final season, so we gotta show them some love too. So from us to you, thank you for watching. We got some dope black comics on the way with some dope beats. Are you coming? Oh, it's come on, tell them bye. Come on, tell them bye. It's all right, you can tell them bye. We'll show them tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. You gonna say bye? You ain't gonna tell them bye? You don't want to tell them bye? You want to tell them bye?
Yes.
Yes. Say yes. Say I love all y'all.
Love all y'all.
Say y'all been cool.
Y'all been cool.
Peace out.
Peace out.
All right, go on. You ready? All right, hold on.
All right, hold on. I'm with you.
Hold on.
All right. Here we go.
And all right, let's one.
Here we go.
You got to know that if you keep dwelling in the past, you will remain in the past. Can I get a fucking yeah?
Good day, gentlemen. This is a pre-recorded briefing made prior to your departure, in which, for security reasons of the highest importance, has been known on board during the mission. Now that you are in Jupiter's space, and the entire crew is revived, it can be told you. 18 months ago, the first evidence of intelligent life off the Earth was discovered. It was buried 40 feet below the lunar surface, near the crater Patron. Except for a single, very powerful radio emission aimed at Jupiter, the 4-million-year-old black monolith has remained completely inert. Its origin and purpose still a total mystery.
finish him off. If you can't do it, then maybe you should let someone who can, like me.
I'm the man, yes sir, that killed a bear barehanded so the people won't forget it. Getting money for I was legal to drink. I care what a broke nigga think.
Just like the pack of Lewis.
Look, everything I do so cold. I can do this, both eyes closed. Too short, I stay on my toes. About that guap boy, anything goes. Help the bear if we outside. Help the bear if we outside. Still tipping, baby, nothing changed. We still grinding over here, yeah. Still sliding through my own lane. Shorty, nothing funny over here. Dollars rain everywhere around me. Dream to get money. Made it through the storm, living sunny. Dreams came true, now we eating. I got more dreams to chase, gotta reach them. Trying to put a team together like the Hunger Games. Everybody